And we are live. And welcome. It is May the 4th, i.e. May the Force be with you, i.e. Star Wars Day. And we're going to be discussing the original trilogy, the extended media set in between, and the prequel trilogy. And I'm going to let Ethel start off. So Ethel, tell me your thoughts on the original Star Wars trilogy.
Great. Solid sci-fi, friggin' above and beyond what you were used to at the time. And it pretty much kicks off the idea that science fiction can make big dollars in the box office. You know? In fact, the first Star Wars movie, A New Hope, it was the first movie ever to make over $500 million worldwide. And it set the guy, man.
It was an awesome franchise. I think we wouldn't have gotten the likes of Alien without Star Wars. That was what kept Fox the interest. Like, it kicked off a lot of people's careers. It kicked off visual effects revolution. Just a bit. I want to say hello to Sadie's in the chat. Hey, Wabby, and Rhapsody Reviews. If you get a chance, check them out. And also Mustard Deacons in the chat. Thanks a million for tuning in, guys. But yeah, as good as the first movie is, there is issues. And I think the thing that saves the first movie is the editing. Did you know about that, right, Ethel? The first cut was an absolute disaster.
Yeah. It was a dog, man. They had to work real hard at it to get something like close to what they got. But it worked out.
Yeah, it did. I want to say Lucas was a fantastic visionary, and I think Trench will back me up on this. He's a fantastic visionary, and he's a fantastic kind of idea man. But when it comes to kind of doing a script or doing beats for a story, he's not that great. Like there's lots of things that that had to be cleaned up or trimmed or removed, and sadly he got his mitts on the franchise a few years later and undid the good work of some of the editors. But we'll get into that later. It was a phenomenal franchise. And Lucas, for all his issues and stuff, he was a clever man because he decided to have a clause in the merchandising rights. So the company who launched the 20th Century Fox were like, sure, it's fucking some toys. What money is he going to make off that? And oh boy, did he fucking clean up with that, Ethel.
Yeah.
What do you make of that? Do you think that was very shrewd of him?
Yeah, it was brilliant because he saw a marketability in the whole concepts and characters that Fox didn't see. They didn't even see a real marketability in the movie. They just thought, hey, we'll give him some money, have him make this movie. We'll sell a few tickets. Maybe we'll break even. We can piggyback a few trailers on it. It's gonna do the rounds. It's a placeholder, and it ended up being like the cash cow. And they didn't get any of that action, though. That sweet action figure action. They got none of it. I mean, they got a little bit, but you know what I mean. They missed the
they fell off the gravy train, all right. Fun fact for you, Sponge, you might enjoy this, right? When Kenner launched the action figure line, guess what was the first thing you could get? A cardboard box. A cardboard stationery box with cutouts of the figure. They didn't think the movie would do that good, so Kenner didn't produce that many figures for Christmas. So kids ended up getting basically a cardboard standee with cardboard characters, and you have to collect tokens. And it was a disaster. Can you imagine waking up Christmas morning, Sponge? Can you imagine that? Oh, Sponge, your mic, dude.
That fucking helps a lot. But yeah, man, could you just imagine like just waking up and like, yeah, man, waking up. What'd you get for Christmas? I got a box. Yeah. Like fuck, poor kids. But he took a lower cut in his wage as well, didn't he? Like he took a lower cut in the wage so he could get the toy rights.
Yeah, but he was a shrewd fucker.
He went on holiday as well. Was that not a story?
I think so.
For the premiere or something, he didn't attend the premiere at all. He went on holiday with Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, I think he might have been having fucking cardiac issues at the time. We'll get into that, but he had a lot of fucking problems. But so yeah, story is very simple. It's Arthurian, it's Western, it's like fucking the hero of 1,000 faces kind of basic plot where like some kid has to rise. Would you guys
very simple?
Would you guys agree with me that I like Mark Hamill, fantastic voice actor, but he wasn't the best in the first movie? Ethel, what did you think of Mark Hamill in the first movie?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you for a second. No, he was green. He was green, man. You know, it's I don't know what I mean. Could have been better. Could have been a lot worse. Thank God Harrison Ford was there to pick up the slack, and you had Alec Guinness in there. You know, so you surround him with talent. You know, you got Carrie Fisher in there. So he kind of cushioned the blow.
Yeah, he just came across as whiny. Trenchy, what did you think of Hamill in the first movie?
I agree. The first one's my favorite, but I do agree Hamill was a little, like you said, whiny, and he grows on you as the series goes on. But I like what Ethel said, like all the side characters and like the robots and the monsters, like Chewbacca, all the aliens kind of make up for that, you know. I feel like, and you got Obi-Wan and James Earl Jones doing the voice of Darth Vader. Like everybody kind of makes up for that. But yeah, he's a little off.
Yeah,
but you know, by that same extent.
Go for it, Sponge.
Go on, Sponge.
I was just going to say though, but does that not lead into the fact that he seemed shitter than he was, just because he was surrounded by all these people that could act the shit out of him? Do you know what I mean though? Like all that talent around him, like it doesn't do him any favors at all. But he did benefit for the car crash somewhat.
It makes sense with the
just like Lucas benefited from the heart attack, but we'll get into that. Sorry.
You know, it's funny we're talking about the side characters. I just want to mention because Renchi mentioned the robots. You know, in the early draft of the script, R2-D2 wasn't supposed to speak in bleeps and bloops. He actually spoke English, and he had quite the foul little mouth, swearing and stuff.
Yeah, but I like it better with the bleeps because then you can tell he's kind of cursing because they're like R2, you can't be saying that. It's funny.
Such language, yeah. Would we all agree that probably the coolest character? Okay, who do you think's the best character in it? Ethel, Han Solo, or Darth Vader? Who do you think's the coolest in the movie?
Oh, I'm gonna go with Han Solo, Harrison Ford. You know, you gotta go with Indiana Jones there.
And what would you have thought if Kurt Russell had landed the role? I think it was Kurt Russell that was up for the role as well.
Yeah, it would have been interesting. It would have been interesting. Not quite the same feel, that's for sure. I don't know. Do you think he would have been so chummy with Mark Hamill as much as Harrison Ford had been?
Maybe, or he probably would have made him take a blood test or something first, just to be sure. Like, yeah, just
because like You guys, because you guys know, like they used to clown around. At least when Alec Guinness wasn't around, Harrison Ford and Mark Hamill, they used to slack off and clown around on set and act real unprofessional like. But if Alec Guinness stepped by, they'd sort of class it up.
Straighten up like the headmaster. The headmaster has come.
If only Harrison Ford could put personality in his acting. That don't like him at all.
I like
actually,
him.
Actually, would have preferred Kurt Russell.
Cowboy thing well though.
I mean, maybe. I guess I'm not a fan. I'm just not a fan of him at all.
So
like I feel like you would have. I'd rather have had someone that was a bit more funny to be like Han Solo. I feel like Han Solo could have been like a smarter comedy element.
Sponge, if it makes you, you'll probably be disappointed. But originally, Han Solo was supposed to be an 8-foot tall, Wookiee-like creature with blue fur.
I mean, that probably would have done Harrison Ford the world of good. Could you imagine going into work that day? What?
The creature he was supposed to play that was going to be Han Solo is actually he's in Rebels. He's one of the characters in Rebels now. But so Sponge, would you say Vader would be your favorite character out of the first movie?
Alec Guinness, mate.
Really?
Alec Guinness stole every scene he was in. I thought he was fucking fantastic. Man, I wanted to be Obi-Wan. Like, everybody was like, oh, Darth Vader and shit, man. Obi-Wan was the shit. Man, he teleported himself into the Force instead of dying. He thought, fuck this shit, I'm out. What a legend.
Like Vader's kicking the bathrobe. Where'd that cunt go?
I mean, like, the whole when he's just wandering about in the desert thing at the beginning, like, when, like, he's just the crazy hobo guy. And then it turns out he's, like, one of the most badass people that's ever lived. It's like, fuck yeah, man. Every time. Darth Vader wouldn't be Darth Vader without Obi-Wan.
Trench, what about yourself? Favorite character from the first movie, or who do you think was the most badass?
Well, dude, it's crazy that you asked like Han Solo or Darth Vader because they're always a tie for my favorite out of just the whole franchise, and I don't know which to pick. But I guess I was thinking about. I guess I gotta go with Vader, man, dude. Vader in that first movie when he's sitting there and he blows up the planet in front of Leia, and then you find out later that that's Leia's father. Like, that shit's crazy, man. He blew up her home planet in front of his own daughter and felt nothing. Like, that's badass as fuck.
Was it David Prowse that done Chewbacca, or was it Vader he done?
Prowse did Vader, I'm pretty sure.
He done Vader. So yeah, would you still have liked him if he had gone with his West Country accent? Have you heard the fucking rehearsal tapes of Vader with the West Country accent?
No, but I so want it so badly.
There's
I can't even imagine getting the real scum.
You can you? Yeah, have you seen the videos? Have you seen the videos, Ethel?
No, I haven't.
It's David Proud. I want the ship. I want the ship searched. I want it out. That fucking this dirty West Country accent. It's not Welsh, is it? It's kind of like Welsh, but it's this real dirty country accent.
Yeah.
Sponge, find it here and I'll share it. If you can find a video of him talking, I'll share it.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find.
But he does not sound one bit intimidating with this accent.
That's what I'm trying. I can't even imagine it in my head, like how he can like do it. Man, this is sucking. I'm not finding it. But fun fact for you, like a lot of the Prowse's items are were up for auction today.
Yeah, he was originally. If you're a horror fan, Ethel, he was originally in Frankenstein's Monster from Hell, or it was a Hammer. It was a fucking Hammer horror movie. He played the creature in that. He was also the Safe Cross Code Man for about 10 years. Hey, Mast. Any luck, Sponge?
Nah, I'll keep looking. Just continue on, and if I find it, I'll let you know.
But
I will hunt it down.
Oh, another fun fact is, while we also had Alec Gillis, we had another Hammer horror alumni in Peter Cushing, who he was delighted that a lot of his shots were done from profile up because he had really bad arches in his feet, so he used to go around the set in slippers. So like you had all these Imperial guards with like boot jack boots, and he's there with slippers. He was delighted about that. But yeah, no. Again, the editing really saved the movie. Is there any favorite scene? Ethel, what's your favorite scene in the original movie?
Favorite scene? You know what? It's actually the duel between Vader and Obi-Wan. I like that, even though it's brief. It's short. You know, you finally get to see some like Jedi shit. You know.
And none of this jumping around, leaping around, doing crazy shit.
Yeah, no, it's like practical, like you would have in a sword fight almost.
Yeah, you've got a guy encased in a robot suit, and you've a geriatric. They're not exactly going to be doing fucking martial arts. Trenchy, what about yourself? Favorite scene in A New Hope?
It's hard, but maybe either where Darth Vader blows up the planet. I love that scene, like I said, and I also like this random little scene where they're like escaping the Death Star with Leia, and Han Solo's in the stormtrooper armor, and he picks up the little walkie, and he's like, "We're fine. We're all fine here." Like I love that line for some reason.
Right, I've came through. I've got you guys.
Okay.
Yep, 2 seconds.
Fun fact about that French, Harrison Ford didn't learn his lines for that scene because he wanted it to sound more natural. So he was just trying to remember his lines off the top of his head.
So he ad-libbed it.
It was in the scene, but he didn't learn it. So like he's trying to remember as he's saying it. That's why he's like, we're all fine here now.
It feels natural, like you said. It feels like he's just bullshitting on the spot, like he's nervous as fuck, and that's why I love it. Like we're all fine.
Just a brief 50-second clip.
Okay.
Totally.
Right.
Commander Lozan. The ship carries the crest of Alderaan. Was there any of the royal family on board? Who were you carrying?
Take 9.
And action. Where is the data you intercepted? What have you done with those information tapes?
We intercepted no information. This is a consular ship, didn't you see the markings? We're on a diplomatic mission.
Where are those tapes?
Where are those tapes?
The crest of Alderaan. Was there any of the royal family on board? Who were you carrying?
Who were you carrying?
It plays out completely different. Completely different in
I'm
that way.
so glad they dropped it and gave him a voice box.
Holy
shit.
Sponge, for the longest period of time, he thought that was the accent that they were going to go with.
No.
Yeah.
Could you imagine finding out, nah, dude, you're actually crap at talking, so we just replaced you with a robot? Alexa got the role.
Okay, Alexa, where are the Death Star plans?
Sorry, I do not understand that.
Getting you the Death Star plans.
But yeah, so the movie was a runaway hit. They wanted to cook up a sequel fair quick, and they wanted to kind of test the water, and they released this novel. It's called Splinter of Mind's Eye, and it's a terrible, terrible Star Wars story. Essentially, there's no Han, there's no Chewie, it's Luke and Leia going off looking for a kyber crystal and being hunted by Darth Vader. Luke gets particular powers from an ancient Jedi witch, and he uses them to woo Leia. We won't go into that too much. Vader turns up, fights Luke, kills two kind of Chewbacca-like creatures that are helping him, and is almost kills Luke, but trips over his own severed arm and falls into a chasm. So yeah, that could have been our Star Wars sequel. But luckily enough, we got before. Yeah, that was the first bad sign. Ethel, what did we get before we got Empire Strikes Back? What did we get that came out on Christmas?
Oh yeah, we got the special, a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful gift.
I'm just going to say, guys, that Star Wars special holds a special place in my heart because that's how I met all you guys. Like, I hate Christmas, and that Star Wars special was fucked up beyond all recognition. But, like, I met you guys through it.
Yeah, I know. That was great crack. I remember Sponge's first words when he came onto the stream weren't, hi, how you doing, guys? What are you doing? My name's Sponge. No, his first words were, what the fuck is this? That's what his first words were. What the fuck is this?
I've stayed true to form ever since.
But yeah,
what was the furry bastard humping his leg? What? I think that's still on the line.
There's so many phrases I never thought I would utter in my lifetime. What happened on that stream?
That was something else that could have cost us the franchise because that was a fucking disaster. I mean, firstly, poor fucking Mark Hamill had just recovered from a car accident and looked like a Ken doll that hadn't all its makeup properly applied yet. Carrie Fisher looked like she was coked out of her head. And we had a Wookiee watching porn. We had a Wookiee watching fucking VR porn. So yeah.
Yeah, that was bad, man. Because my mom walked in and she's like, "What the fuck is going on here?"
He had to leave the stream to go explain to his mother what he was watching.
No, Mom, it's not porn. It's just a Wookiee masturbating.
I love the fact anybody walks in and hears us talking about shit. Because, like, we go off topic sometimes. And, like, dude, see if you walk in, there's no context.
Oh, yeah. It's like you've entered fucking the Twilight Zone.
Shameless self-plug on this fact. You guys, if you have not seen that stream, it's synced up with the wonderful video and our commentary all in one video. So, like, check it out. It's actually on my channel. But yeah,
it's the first introduction of the fantastic Fun Sponge as well. So yeah, the origin of Fun Sponge is in that video.
Man, the worst Star Wars thing in the planet, and that's what I'm going to say. It seems so fun.
He-Man. You had to sit through He-Man after that too. Oh God.
Oh man, He-Man was a bigger trip, man. That whole stream was just a mindfuck.
Yeah, there was a helicopter shaped like a dick. I mean, like it was the only way it was up. But I digress. Luckily enough, that fucking sham of a thing didn't fucking derail the franchise. And was it 80 or 81? I think it was 1980. Ethel, we got Empire, right?
Yeah.
Many people believe to be the best Star Wars movie out there. And again, not being a jerk, but I think George Lucas being knocked out of action, and Ivan Kershner, yes, the guy behind RoboCop 2 taking over, was the best thing. Ethel, what's your thoughts on Empire Strikes Back?
It's personally, it's my favorite out of all the Star Wars things. Save the Christmas special. I mean, that's obviously my favorite. But Aside from that, Empire Strikes Back. Gotta go with Empire. It's great. Yeah, it's a serious movie. It ends on a serious note. It surprises you. It's like it's big. It's big, and the whole stuff on Hoth is just great, and that's tricky for chroma keying because you've got all this white and blue, so it makes the matte lines really visible. So like they pull that off. It's impressive.
Yeah, it was definitely a step up from the prior movie as well. And Kirshner directed the fuck out of that movie, and it shows. I'll come around again with characters and vehicles and stuff. Trenchy, what's your thoughts on Empire Strikes Back? Would you agree it's the best out of all the Star Wars movies?
Objectively, yeah. Yeah, objectively, yes. My favorite's still the first one because I like the band getting together movies. You know, I like the journey, starting the journey. But this is objectively the best one. It has a really dark ending. It has really well done characters. You introduce Yoda, one of the most best Star Wars characters. You know, one of the most well known, and it's just got some really good shit in it. It's really dope. Really, really good tension and really good character building.
Sponge, again, I know you're not too enamored with the movies, but would you agree that out of all the movies, Empire is the best?
Yeah, man. Like that was when we got there was another one when we got our first proper look at Boba Fett.
Yeah, I like Fett's my favorite character, and he kind of like without Fett we wouldn't have gotten the Mandalorian. And again, people are like, oh, Fett doesn't say much, or he just stands in the background. He is a Sergio Leone character. He is fucking out of a spaghetti western. He's the fucking man with no name who doesn't talk much, but when he does talk, you fucking listen, because that cunt will kill you if you don't fucking listen. But yeah, going about characters, obviously my favorite would be introduced in this movie would be Fett. I know we had Yoda and we had Lando. Ethel, who was your favorite new character introduced in this movie?
Yoda. Gotta go Yoda, man. He's the Jedi Master, and I like how he's introduced. Like, you don't realize that he is Yoda. You just think, oh, this is some weird little alien that Luke has met and he's got to deal with, and it's silly comic relief, and it's like, okay, yeah, whatever. And yeah, it turns out to be the Jedi Master. Fun fact about that Dagobah scene where Luke is in the hut with Yoda before he finds out that he is the great Yoda. There's this part where he keeps hitting his head on the hut, and Mark Hamill had to do that 16 times until Ivan was satisfied with the take. So he had to kind of knock himself out.
Can you imagine getting your fucking head clittered 16 times? Ow. Fuck.
Yeah.
Trench, favorite character, dude, that was introduced in this movie?
I gotta agree with that one. I go with Yoda. He was introduced so great. Like, he starts out trolling them. Like, he's literally trolling them, but like to like that was part of the training to see how Luke acted around them before he do. And you know, he lifts the spaceship and you really feel like this is like on like even surpassing Obi-Wan in wisdom, and this is like this great powerful being who's a little green guy in a little cloak and shit, the walking stick. It's like, it's really dope. Gotta love Yoda.
Yeah, Yoda kicked ass. Any thoughts on Lando, the intergalactic pimp played by Billy D. Williams, who owned an entire city?
He might not as well have been in it for me, dude. Like, if I'm honest, like he was just kind of just in the background. There's nothing more.
Like, it hurt when Lando betrays Han. Spoiler alert! It hurt, man. Like that.
Spoiler alert! 50 years later.
Trenchy, you think they're good? If people what about the other fucking big reveal? If people don't know about fucking Lando yet, they're gonna get shocked with the other fucking reveal at the end of this movie.
Yeah. For sure.
So, Ethel, your thoughts on Lando? Was he cool? Was he annoying? Were you like, oh, what a dickhead? Or would you empathize with his situation?
He's a smooth operator, and like you're relieved because they've got some help finally, and then he stabs him in the back, and then you find out that Vader's twisting his grapes about Cloud City the whole time. So this deal's getting worse every moment.
So yeah, Lando fucking makes the deal with Vader. Vader's like, I want to capture Luke alive. And then our Han Solo gets turned into, I don't know if you have animal bars over there, but he looks like a chocolate with like his face embossed into it. Like I'm surprised we never got like chocolate bars of like Han Solo just,
Oh my God, could you imagine?
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be amazing.
Carbonite.
Get Easter basket in there. Ooh, chocolate solos, sweet.
But obviously, I heard it was another one of Ford's impromptu kind of things where he's saying goodbye to Leia, and it's like Leia says, "I love you," and Ethel, like, I'll let you run it down. What happens in that scene?
Solo just looks at her and goes, "I know."
It's a badass moment. It's like you could have done the obvious thing and had him go, "Yeah, I love you too," but it's like, yeah, I know.
He plays it cool. Because he's Solo. He's too cool for school. He's even though he's gonna die. Well,
he's fucking cooler now. He's cooler now because he's fucking encased in carbonite. But so
glorified pencil.
So fucking Luke shows up. Boba Fett fucks off with Solo, and he ends up facing Darth Vader, and it's a one-sided battle. And then the revelation happens. Ethel, when you first saw Empire, did you see the movies in order? First off,
I did. I saw them in order on HBO because it was it was a big fuss about it because they're on HBO, and I actually still have the old VHS recorded off the cable tape from when I first saw that. Yeah, it was came as kind of a surprise. I'm like, oh, wait, what?
Were you? So you were shocked? It got you in the feels.
I'm like, so wait, Luke is half robot? That was my first thought, and then I realized, oh, it's an elaborate life support system. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Trench, that revelation, and to people in the chat watching as well. How did you feel when you found out that revelation? Did you kind of freak out when you heard about it? Trench, what about yourself, dude?
Oh, it was amazing. Like, it's weird because I saw the first two prequels first, and then I saw the original trilogy, but I didn't catch on. That they were the same person. So when it hit, it was still like, what the fuck? And then I realized, and then I went back and I'm like, oh, this dude we're following in the prequels is Darth Vader from the and it kind of clicked, and then it just made it was great.
Like the most quoted, like the most often misquoted in movie like history, pretty much. The whole fucking "Look, I'm your father" thing.
What is the proper quote? Sponge?
No, I am your father.
Yeah.
So fucking what a downer of an ending. Like when you guys watch that, like Sponge, when you watch that movie, you're like, what the fuck? How the fuck are they going to get out of this?
It's like I am your father. I'm like, man, he's got a lot of maintenance to pay. Like, damn, that's a whole lot of birthday.
Oh yeah. Like,
Sorry, Ethel. American Werewolf in Jersey says, I was old enough to have seen Empire in the cinema the first time it was in theaters. I was 13 before that. Everything played in local drive-in. Werewolf, did you get a shock when Vader gave up that revelation? I drop your answer in the chat flow. Sorry, Ethel. One, you were going to say.
I was gonna say, Trash, you probably know this little fun fact about that scene. When they were filming it, they were shooting it. That wasn't the line that was spoken to Mark Hamill at all. That was a secret line that was known only to George Lucas and James Earl Jones.
Oh. So
yeah,
what did it tell Hamill when he replied, "No, that's impossible"? It's like Chewie's their father or something like that.
So Luke, mentions that that Vader killed his father, and he says, "No, Obi-Wan killed your father."
Okay.
Oh, that's amazing. That makes sense. Like that you would still get that really big reaction without spoiling the scene. Oh, that makes a lot of sense actually.
No, that's impossible. Like he couldn't do it. Obi-Wan would never do it. That's why he's like, that's impossible.
That scene also gave me one of my favorite Simpsons moments ever, where a young Marge and Homer come out of the cinema and they're walking by the queue that's going in to see Empire Strikes Back. And Homer's like, and to think Darth Vader's Luke Skywalker's father. Everyone in the queue's like, oh, thanks a lot, man. Thanks for reckoning. Because you know that fucking happened in real life.
Yeah.
I mean, see, at the same time though, like, why did they have so much faith in like Obi-Wan? Like he knew Obi-Wan 20 minutes? You know what I mean? Like they never went that far together. Like they weren't together that long. As far as he knew, he started off as a creepy guy, and he says he knew his dad. Like anybody, that could have been any of us. I knew your dad. I'm coming with you. What?
Oh no, that's not Obi-Wan. That's Johnny Pedo. That's Johnny Pedo from down in the ravine there. Yeah, here, I'll show you my lightsaber.
On to catch a predator tonight, Obi-Wan Kenobi. I need to go and tend to my midichlorians.
There's midichlorians all over my face. Here, you need more midichlorians.
Just reach into my pocket and feel for the Force.
Can you feel the Force? Can you feel it? Squeeze
Left
the
a bit.
Force.
Left a bit. There it is.
Oh Christ! Why do our streams always evolve into this? Fuck it. We'll move on.
Deacon makes a fair point. Obi-Wan lied to him, manipulated him, set him against his father. He's kind of a dick.
That comes up in Return of the Jedi. Originally, the title of Return of the Jedi. Ethel, you probably know this one. What was the original title?
Revenge of the Jedi.
And why did they change it? You know what?
Because Jedis aren't supposed to seek revenge. They're supposed to be better than that.
But obviously, when they were doing the third part of the prequel trilogy, they reused that title then for Sith because it makes more sense. So my favorite part, again, like with Alien 3, I'm kind of like you, Sponge. I acknowledge that Empire is the best, but Jedi is my favorite, mainly because of the whole Jabba rescue sequence. Because my God, Rick Baker and Frank Oz and the Jim Henson puppetry that was done in that movie was insane. Jabba's palace is just filled with so many fucking creatures, and Jabba himself, like. Have you any facts about Jabba, Ethel, that you wanna you want to regale us with?
I do actually. The Jabba puppet or Jabba puppet. It took 6 people to work that puppet, and it took 3 months to build it at a cost of $500,000, and it weighed about 2,000 pounds. So yeah, he was a big boy. He was a chunky boy.
The sad thing was that fucking puppet was left into disrepair, and by 5 years after it, it fell to shit. There was no way of repairing it or fixing it. Well, Lucas thought he could fix it by using CG, but we'll get to that bit. One of my favorite scenes is the battle, where Luke is going to be executed via Rancor. Phil Tippett's stop motion Rancor is fucking awesome, and I love the fact it kind of whimpers when the fucking gate goes down in its head. You're like, I kind of feel sorry for this fucking thing now. So, Ethel, what's your thoughts on Empire Strikes Back, and had you any favorite part? Was it the Jabba rescue scene? Was it them going to Endor meeting Ewoks, or was it Luke's second confrontation with Vader?
All right. Well, favorite thing in Return of the Jedi would have to be the stuff on Endor with the Ewoks, because they were friggin' cute, and you know, they got Deacon's favorite actor in that movie, so you know we know it's going to be good. And fun fact about the Rancor: it was originally supposed to be a guy in a suit, like they did on them.
I saw some kind of test stuff with it, but it just didn't work. I think maybe they might have used about 2 seconds a frame, but they went with Phil Tippett's stop motion. But anything else, Ethel, you want to regale us with?
I like how the fat guy cries when the Rancor bites it.
It wasn't just the fat guy. I cried when the Rancor. It was dinosaur-like, and I felt sorry for it. I was like, fucking hell. You didn't have to drop a gate on it. It's fucking horrible.
They got that guy. He's patting him on the back. It'll be okay. It'll be okay.
I can find 2 fun facts about the movie.
Ooh.
One, the word Ewok is never spoken in the movie, nor are the individuals ever referred to by name.
Okay.
And then the second one, the slithery noises made by Jabba were made by the sound designer running his hands through cheese casserole.
Oh.
I just heard that makes that whole scene just like, oh.
So, Ethel, would you agree with the fact a lot of young men came to their adolescence as well due to this movie because of Carrie Fisher sporting that bikini?
That gold bikini deal is iconic, and not only did many young adolescents experience their first taste of what it's like to feel like a grown boy, but it's gone down in history as one of the most I don't know what you'd say, not parodied but cosplayed science fiction. More women have donned that gold bikini than any other female costume.
I was going to say that has to be one of the most used costumes in any bedroom play ever.
Yeah.
Hey, if you could wear it, who wouldn't wear it? If I could pull it off, I'd be sporting that today. But
I feel I've got the boobs for it.
Look, the best I could do would be like Jabba Wookiee nipple pinch. Okay. Sponge, what's your thoughts on Return of the Jedi?
Man, I did like this one actually, to be fair, because I like the Ewoks and shit, man. The Ewoks were like legit fucking awesome. They were like a little fucking Chewbacca you could put in your pocket. Like what's not to love about that shit? Like, man, and they were like Gizmo as well. It was like Gizmo and Chewbacca, like the best they both. I was like, man, those are fucking awesome. And the fact that they always tripped up and shit was just like, yeah, I'm digging it. But yeah, even like the slave ship stuff in that as well, man. Like you said, with the big sand thing, fucking was like, whoa, like what the fuck, like. And then you remember that when it came out as well, and it made it like just like so much better. It was like you went to town.
Trench, what do you think of
cold dead eyes?
Oh, you're going Trench, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. My bad. I had to mute real quick.
What did you think of Empire? Or not Empire, Return?
I like Return. Like, I consider all the Star Wars movies, like at least the first three, on the same level. To a degree, like there's obviously some are better than others, but I really liked Return. I thought it had some fun moments. You got the Ewoks fucking killing people and eating them, even though it's never talked about. But you know they totally ate those stormtroopers / clones. You got
they were going to eat Han and Luke and fucking Chewie, like, so yeah.
Yeah. You got Vader's redemption, which is awesome. Like, I love Vader's redemption, making him like one of the best villains. Like, you know, he actually gets a good redemption arc. And you get more Darth's Emperor Palpatine with the lightning and shit, you know? It's
unlimited power!
I mean, Ian McDermott was fucking awesome.
And he was having fun.
Yeah, man. It's very cheesy, which I enjoy. Like the original Star Wars have a lot of good cheesy moments, but like good cheese.
Yeah, it's like there's like a definitive line between like you've got good and bad. It is that simple.
Yeah.
The thing I loved is when Luke was squaring off against Vader, and like Vader just trying to goad him into the dark side, and he almost succeeds, and he just starts wailing on Vader, and the music starts swelling, and like he cuts through Vader's hand and through the fucking railing, and I was like, that's Luke literally touching the dark side. Basically, he's come this close, and he realizes he's going to turn into his father and dumps the lightsaber. I thought that was cool, and
even in the beginning, a little bit, but when he shows up in the black cloak and he's like choking the pig guards, like it's a little dark.
Well, it's that you mention his hand, Marty, because that's very much like it makes that whole thing where he gets his hand cut off. Really, it pays it off, you know, where he gets it cut off and
it comes round. It's like the sins of the father returning upon the son kind of job.
Yeah, and he realizes that he is slowly turning into his father, which who isn't afraid of that, honestly? But
yeah, it is. It's a terrifying prospect. So yeah, this I thought it was a good conclusion. I especially liked. No one talks about the aerial. Well, I was going to say aerial, the space dog battle. That was pretty cool. And like one of the best, my favorite characters from that movie is a fish. For one life, it's a trap. It's a trap.
Do you know that that was the line in the script? And the script it's a trick, but they had a negative test screening, so they changed it to it's a trap, which is crazy because it's like one of the most iconic lines for fucking like Star Wars.
It's a trap.
Like if you ask someone to name a line for Star Wars, it's "Look, I am your father," which was wrong, or it's a trap.
The other thing is, it's a line. It's something that's made it into every single incarnation of Star Wars, even video games. I've got a bad feeling about this. Every iteration has to have a line of "I got a bad feeling about this."
There's two in this one. C-3PO and Han Solo.
Oh, okay. So they say it twice.
Yeah, but apparently George Lucas had a script thing where none of the main characters are allowed to be killed, and it translated over in the novel writing as well. And the only time he consented to having one of them killed was Chewbacca for R.A. Salvatore. Like
Oh.
it was set 20 years after the movie.
Yeah, that's a comic book. That's a comic. The story is that I'll get into it, but Chewie saves Han's kids by loading them onto the back of a ship as a moon is crashing into the planet. Han has enough time to get the kids out of there, but not Chewie. And basically, when Han goes back to Chewie's family, he says that his friend was so brave it took an entire moon to kill him. So that's something that was in the comics and in the novel. And it's. I'll get into that stuff later on because there's a whole fucking. Oh, sorry, Ethel.
I was just gonna say it was a sad life day that year. You know.
Where's Daddy? When's Daddy coming home? He's the only one who can stop Grandpa looking at VR porn.
Stop humping Granddad's leg.
Thank goodness Art Carney is always there to support that family while Chewie's off fighting star battles. Carney. Unsung hero.
But so yeah, the franchise kind of came to an end, but we did end up getting video games. We got graphic novels, and we got something in the form of a spin-off. Bear with me 1 second, guys.
Oh.
So, and I'm not. We got.
Oh,
we got this. So we got two movies. We got the Cavern of Courage and Battle for Endor. Has anyone seen these, and what's your thoughts?
Dinner time.
I remember the Endor one. Like, I think I watched it on TV once. I've never seen this one, but I'm kind of sad I didn't.
That's the first one. The first one has basically these human colonists crash landing on Endor, and I think it's like a year after the events of the Empire falling, and they get captured by a giant called Gorax, and two kids, Mace and Sindel, are rescued by the Ewoks, and they basically have to kind of get the Ewoks to help them rescue their parents from Gorax. It's obviously aimed for a younger audience, but it's still fun, and I do like some of the stop motion in it. Ethel, have you seen either of these?
I think I've seen Cavern of Courage, but that was a long, long time ago. Yeah, I was disappointed the Ewoks didn't attempt to eat them. I mean, maybe they didn't look tasty enough. I don't know. Once you've had Stormtrooper, everything else looks sort of slim pickings. Get that nice juicy clone meal.
Yeah, they were fun, but you definitely wouldn't want to fucking kind of like, you wouldn't want to use it as an introduction to Star Wars for people. The second one was really dark because Bar Sindel, everyone in her family are killed by these marauders who actually turn up in The Mandalorian, and she's taken in. Most of the Ewoks are enslaved, and she escapes along with Wicket, and they're rescued by the one man who fought against diabetes, Wilford Brimley, as Noah. And it's basically they need to rescue the Ewoks and get a power cell so Noah can get Sindel off Endor. And again, it's basically Ewoks versus space orcs. The Blargs turn up. If you watch The Mandalorian, the Blargs are there. They're these two-legged lizards that look like they have diabetes, as Wilford Brimley would say. But again, it's fun, but definitely not something you'd introduce to your kids. Trench, have you seen any of these?
Say they'd be right back.
Okay. But yeah, no, it's all right, but it's definitely not the best. However, the Ewoks did keep a bit of staying power in the form of the animated series. Ethel, do you know anything about the Ewoks or the Droids animated series?
Oh yeah, we had the Droids animated. Well, actually, I'll go with we had the Ewoks animated series, which was that on the Disney the Disney network there briefly? Was it not?
Yes, yeah, it was, and I think it's up on Disney Plus now again. So yeah.
It's very, very cheerful, charming little series. And then we had the Droids cartoon, which was drawn by the same team that did the not anime, but the little cartoon that's in Star Wars Holiday Special. Since I can't stop talking about that.
Yeah, they were interesting that they brought in like a lot of stuff from like they brought in Boba Fett into Droids. They brought in some of the particular different types of stormtroopers and stuff. And yeah, it was an interesting series. Again, they were really pushing the fucking kids market. A lot of people suggested that the only reason they made the animated series was to keep the toy line going, because I think it was maybe 4 years now since Return of the Jedi came out, and they were still trying to plug the kind of toys. So they're saying, oh, this vehicle's featured in droids, or this vehicle's featured in Ewoks. So that was their kind of way of thinking. But then again, it was the 80s.
They know what side their bread is buttered on, Martin. They know where the money is.
Yeah, the action figures. But yeah, no, it was. So I think for a while, bar reruns, there was a kind of silent running period where Star Wars kind of disappeared until the early 90s, and two things happened. First off, it was an experiment. Lucas wanted to see if people were still interested in Star Wars. So he done a thing called Shadows of the Empire, which was a graphic novel, a novel by Steve Perry, and a video game. And they all focused on the same story but different perspectives. The graphic novel, which was done by Killian Plunkett, really good artist, was done by Dark Horse Comics, written by John Wagner. It was from Boba Fett's perspective. And again, the story is set between Empire and Return. So you see all the trials and tribulations that Fett had to go through getting Han to Jabba the Hutt. The novel focused on three characters. It was a POV stories from Luke, Vader, and a new character who was the main bad guy for this one, called Prince Shizor, who's this reptilian kind of bad guy. He's basically, if Jabba the Hutt was Tony Soprano, this guy is Michael Corleone. He's just that fucking dangerous and scheming. Vader was in charge of a mission that caused the death of a majority of his race, and he wants to usurp Vader as his kind of right hand man. And yeah, it releases some interesting ideas, and it's pretty cool. The novel was written by S.D. Perry, so if you want to track it down, check that out. And lastly, there was the fantastic N60. Is it N64? Yeah, it was N64 game. Shadows of the Empire came out for the N64, and you took control of Dash Rendar, who was basically the Walmart version of Han Solo. He was like the cheapest ass version of Han Solo ever. He even had his own version in the Millennium Falcon called the Outrider, which was basically, it's just the Falcon turned left with the cockpit put onto the side of the two bars at the side. But it was a third-person shooter, a bike game. You could use swoop bikes, and it was also a kind of on the rails space kind of aerial combat. Good game. it was one of the launch titles for the N64, and Shadows of the Empire was essentially a mass media marketing for a movie that didn't exist. It had its own soundtrack, own video game, own novel, bubblegum cards, and it had like a novel and everything. So yeah, it was just an experiment for Lucas to see if people were still interested in fucking Star Wars. That was his first thing. Then the controversial thing happened. He decided to put Phase 2 into plan and re-released the original trilogy into cinemas. And Ethel, do you want to take this one?
Oh yeah, we got the Star Wars Special Edition, and
they were special, all right.
Oh yeah, it was special. I still have it. I wish I should have brought it downstairs because I have it on VHS still to this day. And I thought it was a cool idea. I watched it. I thought, I don't want to say I liked it, but it wasn't taped off of HBO. So like it had that going for it. It wasn't, I didn't create it. So like it was an official release. So I'll leave it at that. Like you had all these CG stuff, and like they did do some nice things. Oh, like they removed the matte lines in the snow speeders in Empire Strikes Back, and they cleaned up all the prints. And fun fact: if they didn't do the special edition when they did it, we would have lost all the original prints of Star Wars because the film was in an advanced state of degrade. Like it was just rotting. It was rotting. It was discolored, and like. Yeah, if they'd waited one more year, even they'd never been able to restore the film.
Okay, so the special edition is that the one? The special edition was the one when they went back and added in all the CGI graphics and shit.
Yeah, that's
the one I seen. That was the original one. That was the one I seen first. Then.
Yeah, the other issue they had, Sponge, is everyone always says Han shot first. The thing is. Han was the only one who fucking shot. Greedo didn't even get a chance to pull out his fucking blaster.
He was a cold-hearted bastard originally, and then they had to go.
That was pure spaghetti western. That was pure Sergio Leone.
Marty, it was cool. You didn't know what he was gonna do. He was like he was willing to kill people. You didn't know what he was gonna do. He was the wild card. And then they're like, Lucas is like, no, this is for kids. Let's heroize them. Like, my bad, Apple.
Exactly. No. You're good. You're good. I thought you were summing up, but so no, you're absolutely right, Trench. And when I remember before I saw the special edition, I never thought of it as like, Han Solo is a cold-blooded killer. I thought, hell yeah, fucking that asshole was gonna shoot him. Damn right, you're gonna shoot him first. Fucking preemptive strike. But
the way they did it, Ethel, they literally dragged. It was like they dragged and dropped. I don't know how to explain it. Christ, I don't want to pull up the scene in case we get the video flagged. But essentially, it was terrible CG. And to add on to that. I remember as a kid, stupid kid, I was like, oh my god, they put fucking Jabba the Hutt into this movie. They put Jabba the Hutt into this movie. And oh fucking Lord. Trenchy, what did you think of them reintroducing Jabba the Hutt? Originally it was supposed to be a guy, he was supposed to be a big fat guy. And they CG'd over him.
Yeah, they should have just a lot of that CGI. They should have just left alone. The practical effects were brilliant, and then they have like that CGI frog woman or whatever, and it's like it. What the fuck, man? They should have just left it alone. Fucking Jabba the Hutt looks good in the original version, and then they man, it's disgusting.
Well,
The CGI is not good at all. I don't think. Like, there's a little bit of good CGI in there, but mostly not.
The CGI I did in mind was when they were in space with like the space lasers firing. Like, that's okay. You
Yeah.
can't fuck up a beam.
There's actually a couple things about that scene where they introduced Jabba in the first Star Wars instead of waiting till the Return of the Jedi. They use for that footage where Harrison Ford is talking to him. It was test footage. They shot with a different actor playing Jabba. It was this big chunky guy in a furry suit. And the reason he had like all these furs and stuff, it's not like he was in he wasn't in a Chewie suit. I don't mean it like that, but like he had these animal skins and furs on.
Yeah, it was a tunic. It was like a big animal tunic.
Exactly. And the reason that is because at the time, George Lucas had envisioned Jabba as this big hairy character similar to Chewie. It wasn't until later that he became a slug. So it was this test footage of Harrison Ford talking to this actor, and they were kind of thinking about what they wanted to do with it. They ended up not using it. So when they brought it back into the film, and they had him, and then they had him insert that Jabba footage where he's a CGI Jabba. They thought, oh, this is great, except there was one problem. Harrison Ford in the footage is walking and talking to this Jabba character, and he actually walks around Jabba at one point. When they had the CGI, they had an issue where he was clipping with the CGI because of how big it is and how close Han Solo was walking to the actual actor. And that's why they moved Harrison Ford up just a hair and made it like he was stepping on Jabba's tail. And that's why there's no reaction to Harrison Ford stepping on his tail.
It's another drag and drop job. It's like, oh, okay, we'll clip and we'll just pull him over. It's like, and it's so artificial. It's fucking frightening how bad it is.
Yeah, if you got Adobe Photoshop at home, folks, you could make that scene yourself very easily.
But I suppose that I didn't know about the degrading of the footage, so that's one good thing that came out of it.
Yeah.
And it also showed that there was still a hunger for Star Wars stuff out there. So obviously we got the no. Give me 1 second.
I'll be right back, guys. I gotta go take care of something real quick. Hold on.
So obviously we got Shadows of the Empire, we got Caesar, everything. The games were very profitable. And then we ended up getting, where are you hiding? We ended up getting Dark Forces. Hey, how are you doing, Dan? We ended up getting Dark Forces. Sponge, did you play Dark Forces when it came out?
Yeah, that's that one that we were saying was like Doom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's essentially it started off its life as a Doom clone, but was very popular and very successful, and probably I think one of the most successful of the LucasArts games at the time.
Yeah, the early ones definitely.
It was it kicked arse. You had this kind of hybrid character. He's kind of like half Luke Skywalker, half Luke Skywalker, half Han Solo, called Kyle Katarn, who finds out his father was a Jedi. And the interesting thing in the first game is, but obviously because of Disney taking over and stuff, Kyle Katarn was the one who stole the Death Star plans and got it to the Rebels. He was a mercenary who got it to the Rebels way before Jyn Erso. So Kyle.
Why did he have a Superman badge on his chest?
I do not know. I think that might be a bad edit of the thing, but I do know that's a cover that someone did, and I
was going to say because that's Superman and Lex Luthor.
No, that's Jarek. That character is actually Jarek from the second game. I do not. Everything else is grand, but the rest of it is just fucking balls up, man. But
Wait, is Superman a Jedi?
no. Thanks for pointing that out, Sponge.
I couldn't help it, dude, because I was looking at it and I'm thinking that genuinely looks like Superman and fucking Lex Luthor going at it.
Don't worry,
I'll
Sponge.
try
I
and
was
find
about
another
to
image,
ask
maybe.
the same thing.
Well, he's
I
got
was
the Superman
literally about
on
to
his shirt. He's got the Superman S on his shirt. It's just like he's got this weird V-neck thing going down, but that's totally the Superman logo.
Well, I don't know. I'll try and find another image of it.
DC sued somebody, right? Somebody over at Dark Horse got in trouble for that? Or wait, was that a game?
That's LucasArts. That's a LucasArts image.
That's crazy.
Like, that's somebody taking some Photoshop shortcuts right there, let me tell you.
It's cool, Sponge. I was about to ask too. Like I noticed that shit as well, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Like I was just sitting here thinking
that was the only big image I could find. Fuck it. Yeah, no, we got the Dark Forces games and fuck. So did you play many of them, Sponge?
What ones? The games? Man, I played a lot of the games.
Yeah.
All the way through.
Like
we
Jedi
were talking.
Knight.
Yeah, the Jedi Knight ones. There was ones that was it the Jedi Knight Outcast or something? Was that one?
Yeah, that was out for the GameCube. That's the one I have here.
That's that one. Yeah. I was gonna say that was the one. I remember playing that one. Yeah. I definitely played that one.
It had really good fucking multiplayer.
I don't even remember multiplayer. Like I liked the PlayStation as well. Like I liked the Jedi Power battles that we were talking about in that as well.
Yeah, I played that once or twice and thought it was all right. Ethel, did you play any of the Super Star Wars back in the day?
I played I think it was Rogue Squadron or whatever it was on GameCube, and then I played I think it's Battlefront, or is it Battle?
Yeah.
I get confused because they gone to make a game the same title pretty much. But I played Battlefront 1 and 2 for the Xbox when that came out, and I played the Star Wars 3 video game for the PlayStation 2 as well, which is actually really good.
I was going to say that you got to unlock like lightsaber combos and shit as you were leveling up and stuff. It's pretty badass.
Yeah, you could use the Force to rebuild your health bar. You know, you recharge your health with the Force and stuff. So it's pretty good. It's a pretty good game.
So, Trenchy, we're stepping. Ethel's kind of mentioned that it was the Revenge of the Sith game, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we've stepped into your wheelhouse, Trenchy. Okay, give us a rundown on why you feel that the prequels get a bad rap and how people should give them a bit more of a chance.
I mean, I have a soft spot for the prequels because I grew up with them. That was the first Star Wars movie I saw was Phantom Menace. Then I saw Attack of the Clones, and then I saw the originals, and then I saw Revenge of the Sith. I know there's problems. Like, I'm not gonna try to say these are great movies. I won't even try to say they're good movies, but I will say they are decent. They are okay movies, and I feel like there's a lot of good things in them. Like you got Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan, whooping ass, playing a great version of Obi-Wan. You have the introduction of Darth Maul and General Grievous, two big characters to the Star Wars universe. You know, you had the Clone Wars came out of this. You have some great sequences like the pod racing scene in the original Phantom Menace, which is dope. they made a game out of it, man. Like there's a lot of good qualities I think in the prequels that people kind of only see the bad. But hey, like we pointed out, the originals have some bad stuff too.
Yeah. Who would be Ethel? What's your thoughts on the prequels?
Well, you take the good with the bad, and there you have the Star Wars prequels. No, they're all right. Like I like the third one. The third one is solid good. It's got a few issues here and there, but it's for the most part it's decent. The first one I would say is probably the weakest of the three. I think that's mostly just because you've got the wacky silliness of Jar Jar Binks, which some people like. Some people like. Not gonna judge it on too much, But then you got the second one, which is sort of like everything's kind of blah until you get to the rainy planet and you discover. Well, I don't want to spoil the movie, but you discover what the deal is with the stormtroopers and all that, and how Django fits into the equation.
Django.
I liked a lot of the lore that they brought in with the prequel movies. Like they gave us like a lot more like fucking cool shit that we could explore out from.
Yeah.
And they
gave us the best fucking
the midichlorians. You talk.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I do. I like the concept of it because it kind of gives like a reason why these normal humans can fucking yeet people across the fucking room and whatnot. But like, yeah, man. Like it was just another bit of the lore that made it just to help like make sense and stuff. And obviously they've explored it more in like the various games all over the place and whatnot.
Yeah, look, I have my issues with it. There are some moments. I'm like Ethel. There are some like there are some. There's an odd peach in a very 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 deep cavernous valley, but I get a trench as well. They're your Star Wars. They're what you grew up with.
And I will say they also gave us Ewan McGregor, man. Like fucking
Ewan McGregor. You got Liam Neeson as a Jedi. Qui-Gon Jinn. He was only in one movie. Yet
the worst name for anybody ever.
Yeah, he made an impression, man. You got Yoda whooping ass. You got Christopher Lee bringing in another Hammer horror alumni as Count Dooku, who was kind of a bland character, but Christopher Lee like made that character because you can't go wrong with And I was like doing some research on the movie, and there's a bunch of random ass actors in these movies. Like you had like Sofia Coppola, Francis Ford Coppola's daughter, is in Phantom Menace for some reason. You got Rose Byrne in the second one, and yeah, man.
Keira Knightley turned up as one of Padme's decoys.
Yeah, she was the main. She was the main decoy because they look so alike that they're like, yeah, we're gonna bring in Keira Knightley.
Also, in the third one, the scene was cut, but I think it was NSYNC was supposed to turn up because Lucas's daughter was a big NSYNC fan, and they were going to be Padawans at the fucking at the fucking Jedi Academy.
Dancing in sequence.
People complain about Darth Vader killing children, like when Anakin kills children, but I liked it because it makes sense. He blows up a fucking planet in the original, so you think he's not gonna kill a bunch of kids?
Yeah, I mean I feel like they had to try and make him. They had to have that point where there was no return.
Yeah, exactly.
Sponge, can you do me a favor? Can you look up a clip? Look up Hugh McGregor killing younglings. Look up for the clip because basically, have you seen this, Ethel? Because they weren't allowed to use the line "he killed children." They used younglings but McGregor could not say the line seriously, and it's wait till you see it. Let me know when you bring it up, Sponge, and I'll show you, because he looks like he's about to fucking like just piss himself laughing.
That's what I was trying. I was gonna say, Trenchy and Sponge. I'm like, remember, guys, they're not children; they're younglings.
Fucking younglings, man. There were problems, and this is why George Lucas, he originally did not want to direct Phantom Menace, and he offered to like Ron Howard, Robert Zemeckis, and Spielberg to direct Phantom Menace. But no one would take it because they're like, it's your baby, man. We don't want to fuck it up. And well, to some fans, he did fuck it up on his own.
There you go.
Fun fact about, I think it's either the second or maybe even the third movie.
Here, we got the clip. Hang on 1 second, guys. Wait till you see this.
I have seen
Gotta see this guy.
purity hologram of him killing younglings.
Not Anakin.
Step back a little, he's big. Activate!
But yeah,
I don't know what the fuck that was. That just went wild. Like Darth Vader got his ass whipped.
What the hell? But I was gonna say, fun fact: in one of these prequel movies, I can't remember which one exactly, but E.T. makes an appearance.
Yeah,
yeah, he's in the Coruscant. He's at the big Senate meeting.
And you also have the first appearance, and maybe possibly the only appearance of Yaddle, the female Yoda.
Yeah, she's killed off in a comic, rescuing a young Anakin at the time. Again, another Dark Horse comic.
I mean, and also apparently the possible mother is the baby.
Grogu, yeah. A lot of people theorized that herself,
because she was like, Yoda was like one of the only species, and the only other female that anybody really knew of was Yago, and then she magically fucked off after Yoda got to the Jedi Council. He wasted no time. Go Yoda.
He died in childbirth from a broken heart over her lost love, Yoda. And Grogu is
well,
the child.
There's a lot of that going around. There's a lot of that going around in the prequels.
Everybody's just everybody.
This is why George Lucas should have just let Spielberg, or no, not let, because he was going to let them. This is why Spielberg or Zemeckis should have taken the job, man. Like I like the prequels, but I can admit there's a lot of problems, especially the dialogue. The dialogue is shit, but if you look in the original trilogy, like the scene where Leia's like, I smell your foul stench as soon as you came in, like a little bit of Lucas's dialogue.
It's not the best. It's not the best dialogue. But it's certainly better than I hate sand. It's so coarse and dry and gets into everything. Like,
I agree. This is why we shouldn't let Lucas run his dialogue, man. We need better people on dialogue. He's good with like the world building and fucking creating characters and stuff, but let's not leave him alone with the dialogue, man, because that dialogue was kind of shit. The actors were good. Hayden Christensen's a great actor. When he wasn't talking, he was brilliant. You could tell exactly
He's in a great movie called House of Broken Glass, where he plays a newspaper reporter. It's based on fact. A newspaper reporter who, to make more money and to make more deadlines, would make up stories and have them printed in the newspaper. He's a good actor. Apparently, though, Lucas saw him. Lucas decided to hire him after seeing him in every episode of Goosebumps.
Ooh.
Oh shit!
that famous place to get all your young stars. Goosebumps.
Beware, you're in for a scare. There's Lucas dialogue.
Again, as bad as I take, like, it's trenchy. This is trenchy Star Wars, and I have issues with it, but I can understand. And there are things I like, but
Getting to see more lightsaber duels and that was pretty cool though, because we got to see like a lot of variants of the how different Jedi and different Sith had developed their own styles of lightsaber dueling and different than that. That was pretty cool.
The sad thing is though, sometimes the fandom can be toxic. And Trench, do you want to talk a bit about Jake Lloyd?
I do, and I want to mention some other people as well, but poor kid Jake Lloyd, you know, he did a movie called Jingle All the Way. It's a fun Christmas movie. Check it out. He goes to do a Star Wars movie, and you think, oh, this is going to be my breakout. It's fucking Star Wars, you know? He goes to do it, and he's not bad. He's a kid, so he's like, but he's not horrible. And then people are like, you know what, kid? Fuck you. You should go die. You ruined Star Wars, you little shit. And it's like, leave the kid alone. He's fucking. I mean,
Trench, do you want to remind people what age he was at the time?
Dude, he was like 8 or 10, right? He was young as fuck. Yeah, 8 or 10.
So wait. Who is Jake Lloyd? Just so I know where I'm at.
He was Anakin in the first movie.
Yo, like the Munchkin.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
He was Kid Darth Vader.
Dude, man, he was like fucking cool as fuck in the pod racing scene. Like he looked like a little badass.
Man, fucking, he owned that shit, and he got death threats. The guy that played Jar Jar got death threats, of course. You know,
the guy
that was
Jar Jar attempted suicide.
He did attempt suicide, but good news, he is still acting to this day, and he actually voice acts for Star Wars. He voices different characters now, but he still will go back and do Jar Jar. So good on him, you know.
He's also on the Disney channel hosting a kind of kids like Takeshi's Castle, or it's an obstacle course. It's a Jedi training obstacle course, and he hosts it, and young kids have to go through different Jedi training and stuff. But I tell you something. As problems I have with the prequels, there is some good stuff. There's some fun stuff. There's some memeable stuff. Ethel, your thoughts on Vader Frankenstein?
No! It's a great.
We did get the Clone Wars.
It's a great little reference where he rises up like Frankenstein's monster, I should say. And I also want to point out another positive note. Like, I know I said it's the worst of the bunch, but in Phantom Menace, the lightsaber duel with Darth Maul is pretty damn good.
Yeah, due to the fates. Ray Park.
The lightsaber battles were really good. You like the first one, they did what they had to do, but this one you could have flips, you could have like dynamics. Like,
I mean, this is a legit sport that we're talking about, guys. Like it's a legit recognized sport, and it's in the fencing book. The fencing rules in France have officially inducted lightsaber duels into the rule set. So lightsaber duels is a real sport, legit.
That is awesome.
We've all seen that fat kid. We've all seen the fat kid with his plastic lightsaber or broom there. We've seen that.
That kid's a badass.
Dude, I actually watched some of the lightsaber battles. They do it in like a darkened hall. Like the lights are all down and shit, so it looks fucking awesome.
Guys, also another fun fact for you. While Ray Park done the live action and stunts of Darth Maul, actor by the name of Peter Serafinowicz, who, if you've watched Spaced, he played Dwayne Banzi in Spaced. He was in Guardians of the Galaxy. and he was in Shaun of the Dead as Sean's kind of uptight fucking roommate. He voices Darth Maul, and he tells
How
a
did I
funny
never know
story
that?
he tells a funny story about Terrence Stamp. How Terrence Stamp didn't want to be in the movie, but Terrence Stamp's agent came over to him and said, "Look, everyone knows that George Lucas gives people a special gift if they turn up and play a part in the movie." And Terrence Stamp was like, "Okay. So what am I playing? Oh, you're playing a senator. You get 6 lines." He's like, "Okay." So he plays the movie, and he films his scene, and his scenes wrap, and George Lucas goes to him, "Just to let you know, Terrence, I left you something a bit special to remember this moment in your trailer." Terrence Stamp is like, "Yes." So he goes into his trailer. There's a fine little kind of almost, you know, the way you get this kind of nice looking box for like jewelry, like a watch or a pendant or something. He opens the box. What's inside? A Phantom Menace stationery set with like a little topper and a little rubber and a little pinch.
Awesome.
Well, yeah, Sir Venovich tells the story better. But yeah, we got Clone Wars. We got the cool animated series, which I think is superior to the prequel movies. Again, Trenchy not having a fucking dig at you, but I just think
No.
A lot of stuff that came for the Clone War, like the animated series came like into canon though, right? Like they used a lot of it for like straight up canon.
Yeah,
I'm with you, man, because I grew up with the Clone Wars on Cartoon Network as well. So it's like I agree. We got some great characters. Like Darth Maul was really fleshed out in the Clone Wars. Ahsoka, who is one of my favorite characters of all time, came from the Clone Wars. Anakin was done better, even though I do like Anakin in the prequels. He was done better. Like it blows it out of the water, man. It blows the prequels out of the water.
Also, Bo-Katan, who's in The Mandalorian, and Ahsoka, who turned up in The Mandalorian. Bo-Katan turned up in Clone Wars, voiced by Katie Sackhoff, and Sackhoff now plays her in The Mandalorian in live-action form. We got Rebels. We got so many cool characters. And it also helped. The sad thing was that I thought Grievous was kind of shite in that movie, but they flesh him out so much more. I think in a way it was a disadvantage that like you have to watch this cartoon to get this character's motivation. But I get that. But yeah, would you suggest, Trenchy, maybe people watch Clone Wars before going in to watch the prequels?
I actually would. I love the prequels, but hey, man, if you just want to watch Clone Wars instead, so you don't hate on it, that's good with me, man. If you just want to go and watch Clone Wars, so you don't come out like I rather have people watch Clone Wars and not watch the prequels because I feel like they'll just eat on the prequels. Like I feel like Clone Wars would make the prequels look like shit. So it's like, yeah, just watch the Clone Wars, man. The prequels are dope, but definitely Clone Wars over prequels every time.
So, yeah, again, it has some good moments, but by and large, the prequels, they're not my generation of Star Wars. They're Trenchy's generation of Star Wars. But one thing that has taken up. Sorry, Ethel?
I was just saying, you hear that, Trench? It's all your fault.
Exactly.
Your generation wrecked it for us.
I mean, it's pretty impressive though that like for a franchise that there is like each generation's got their own version of Star Wars that they remember.
Yeah.
Like, and it's funny how it's like the movies evolved with like just like culture and stuff as well.
You have Ethel, who's a Gen Xer. She has the original ones. Myself and Sponge were millennials, so we'd be fans of the like.
We were the digital age.
Yeah. And then you're well. I think he's a second grade millennial. What the fuck? What the fuck would
I'm
What
Trenchy
the
be?
fuck are you, Trenchy?
I'm like a Gen Y or whatever. I forgot. We have a lame ass name. We're like a Gen something. We're not millennials, but we're something else. And we're the shitty people that like started eating Tide Pods. Or wait, I think that might be after my generation, but we're the shitty ones that eat Tide Pods and are fucking up everybody's franchise by being woke. That's my generation, sadly. The
I love
prequels are
Trenchy's
better
just
than
step
that.
up and took one for the whole age generation. Like, no, guys, it's on me.
I know. Come here, Trench. If there's any hope left, it's you. But speaking of hope, we did get some hope in the form of a video game from the people who later went on to make Mass Effect. Sponge, do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, we had like Knights of the Old Republic, which came in like big ball and like action RPG. Like you had your turn-based combat as well, which is like actually worked really well back in the old days. Like they've obviously remastered. It's not remastered, but like they've had it re-released it like 20 million times on like every
Yeah.
major console and PC since. I mean, like actually, somebody told me it was on sale today on Steam. If anybody's interested. So yeah, and it's like, man, you can get it on your phone. You can legit play it on your phone, man. The story was fantastic, and like they introduced some more backstory into like different Jedi abilities and stuff that the Jedi, like certain Jedi, could do. I should say, like not everyone, but like yeah, like it was mad, man. It was crazy good. Like this character arcs in it were fantastic in it.
And fucking Dart Revan is some hot shit now. There's fuckers trying to bend over backwards. Trying to
Yeah,
get him
man.
into the new.
Like for what I can think of, like it was the first time that I remember them taking a game seriously as canon and being like, "Yo, this is like a legit thing that was a real person now." Like the Revan, like man, Revan was badass as fuck. Like man, he just looked cool, man. He had the like just everything about him was badass. You were just like, man, what's this guy?
I like the game. I like the fact you're given the Star Wars universe as a sandbox. There are other things. There is a kind of Star Wars universe or galaxies. What's that big MMO Trenchy that's our Sponge?
The old Republic, no Knights.
Yeah.
Just the Old Republic became an MMO, which is basically it's like your Warcraft and whatnot. But I will say that as online MMOs go, the Star Wars one has probably got one of the best overall storylines, just by far. Like it's just vastly superior.
I had specified. I played it myself, and I was like, okay, the kind of gameplay is a bit clunky nowadays, but it's still fun. I've played it, and I am kind of playing.
Like I said, like the combat nowadays is very clunky, but just it's because of the way, like obviously the way systems running that now is just a lot more.
Yeah.
But yeah, nah, man. Like they did, like it still was holds up reasonably. Like it's still fun enough to play that you can follow the story and stuff. And they also introduced some cool ideas. Like each Jedi class had their own color of lightsaber that was assigned with that class, and it kind of gives you a bit of insight into like why Obi-Wan's got the blue lightsaber, why Qui-Gon had a green saber, because it's like their classes, either Jedi.
No, I definitely it's on Xbox One for a tenner, and the follow up is there as well for a tenner.
Second one was
Jedi
it was a good game. The second one was a good game. It didn't quite hold up as much as the first one did, but like it's still a good game to go back and play just for the extra insight into the Star Wars universe and stuff like that.
The thing I'm bummed out by now is Disney taking over, and this is no longer canon. These are no longer canon. These are no longer canon. This is no longer canon. It's like they threw out so much fucking stuff, and it for me, like as I said, I'm not ripping into Trenchy because that was his Star Wars, the prequels. But this stuff, this media was my Star Wars. Ethel, what's your thoughts on all these comics and novels and video games just being fucked in the bin.
Baby out with the bathwater, guys. They're throwing the baby out with the bathwater. You know, you got a lot of good stuff from this supplemental media you got here with the comic books and the games and stuff. Like you get rid of that, and all you're left with is whatever they decide is canon, and they can't even decide what they want is canon. They want to get rid of the sequel trilogy and redo the whole thing. I mean, what do they know? What do they know?
Like, they seem to be cherry picking. They were like, oh, we're never going to have Boba Fett in it. And if he is, he's not a Mandalorian. He turns up in the Mandalorian and he's one of the best fucking tins in the second season. Also, big thanks to Filthy Dan for dropping in. And check out Filthy Dan's channel as well if you get a chance, guys. But yeah, no, it just bummed me out because all the stuff I loved is no longer considered
relevant,
canon, considered important.
I feel your pain, man. That's bullshit. That
it's
is
dumb because like they spent so long fleshing it out through the various different media sources and graphic novels and that. It's just like, why would you want to throw it out? Why would you not embrace like all this extra lore that you've got and improve on what you've got?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, like they're picking and choosing now because they have brought Tron. Tron was a bad guy in the original novel trilogy. He's this blue-skinned kind of fucking Goebbels. He's like the Empire's version of Goebbels, and he's brought into Rebels, and he's going to be brought into Ahsoka's story, which Rosario Dawson is in. But yeah, I think the TV shows are good. I think some of the new games are good, but the movies, like the first one was it was exciting to see Star Wars back in a more kind of in a more familiar format. But as the movies went on, they went to shit. Ethel, what's your thoughts on the new Disney Star Wars movies and like?
Jesus, you know, I mean, I like the prequels better.
Okay.
We're not looking so bad now, are we?
They're damn sight better. They're damn sight better. I didn't think it could be worse, and it is. It is.
I kind of like that they brought in Mark Hamill back for Luke Skywalker because I genuinely feel like Luke Skywalker would be a bit crazy and just like completely off his rocker by now. Because look at Alec Guinness was like his Obi-Wan right at the beginning. Like he kind of lost the plot and shit and was just this desert hobo. Like Luke's just like a milk-supping hobo.
A fucking alien lactation fetish. Like what the hell,
like,
man?
It was just. I mean, like I've not seen them. Like I'm not even going to pretend I've seen them. But like from the clips that I've seen, I mean, it doesn't even look like Star Wars. It doesn't even feel like Star Wars. Like it was just like, what is this? Like what have I done? How did I get here?
I'll give it some things I like. As I was saying before, I know some people classify her as a Mary Sue. I like Daisy Ridley. She's likable, and it's cool. I have a 7-year-old niece she dressed up as Rey. I made her Rey staff for Halloween because she was obsessed with Rey. So that's cool. That's cool that a 7-year-old girl can get into the kind of. There's no gatekeeping. There's no like, oh, you're a girl, you can't get into this. She's got someone to look up to. I like that. I liked Adam Driver as Kylo Ren. He was probably what Anakin should have been, I think.
I give you that. I would wholly give you that. I feel like he would be a better Anakin than what Anakin was.
What about his temper tantrum? Like, can we talk about Kylo Ren's temper tantrum? Like, can we talk about that?
Yeah. But that's the thing. He's a guy. He's a toddler. I like that though. I like the fact he was kind of unstable and he was like, there's potential there. They should have turned him good in the second movie and had him good all the way because there's moments where there's a bit of Han Solo comes out in him when he goes to rescue Rey. I thought that was cool.
And what about that nonsense with Snoke? Come on, man. What the hell is that? What the hell?
Snokers for jokers, Ethel. Snokers for jokers.
Like,
They needed to get rid of them so they could bring back Palpatine, man.
Right, I'm just watched a clip of Kylo Ren's temper tantrums, right? And he's genuinely legit. Like, there's two stormtroopers walking past, and they're like, "Oh shit!" Put your hand out and just casually walk back, and we'll just ignore that. Like, that's well the right attitude to have. You're going to go far, my friend. Promote those guys.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we're not fucking. That was funny, Ethel. You have to admit that bit with the stormtroopers for like, yeah, no, let's go back this way, mate.
All right, I give it that it was funny, but like, I don't know, like, how does Palpatine survive his little fall? Though?
But would that not be a good thing for a Sith if he's all angry and just lashing out all the time? Is that not what the Sith are all about?
Oh, like, yeah, but I mean, like, directed anger, you know?
Yeah,
like,
but okay, Sponge, can you imagine if Vader was like, I want a pony, I want a pony.
I just want my son back.
Hey, at least when the prequels Anakin lashed out, he was murdering people. At least when the Anakin in the prequels lashed out, he was murdering the Sand people or he was murdering small children. I don't know if that makes it better, but
Wait, Trench, are you condoning the murder of small children?
Youngling.
I'm condoning the murder of younglings because those little shits, he's Darth Vader. He can do what he wants. Yeah, I got nothing else to say.
Quick to the chat. Dan says killing Snoke when they did was a total mistake.
Snoke was the guy that looked like a rip-off Voldemort, right?
Yeah. But the thing was they'd gotten fucking Andy Serkis to voice him. One of the best.
I was going to say that because I've seen clips of him as well, and he looked cool as fuck.
Snoke he should have been Darth Plagueis. That would have been badass as fuck.
That's what everyone thought.
But I don't know. As far as the temper tantrum goes, like, that doesn't seem like something your evil villain is gonna do. You know, like, I would have expected maybe like it'd make more sense to me if maybe he choked a few stormtroopers and killed them in cold blood, and then the other two kind of saw that, was like, oh, never mind, I didn't see anything. You know, that would have made more sense. That's more evil. That's less childlike.
Fun fact, Sponge. When Rey, I know you didn't see the movie, but I tell you, I don't know if you know this. When Rey escapes from the stormtroopers when she's on board Starkiller Base, that stormtrooper that lets her go is Daniel Craig.
For you?
Yeah, he wanted a cameo. In the second one, when Finn bumps into a stormtrooper who knows him in the elevator, that's Tom Hardy.
That's pretty crazy. I wonder if they got a pencil set as well.
No, probably.
It's such a random thing though to get for like 6 lines. I mean, the only other thing I could think it would be as random as Deadpool when Brad Pitt appeared for a cup of coffee.
Yeah. But
yeah.
I hold out hope with the TV shows. I like Rebels. I like the Clone Wars animated series. Love the Mandalorian. I think maybe
Mandalorian was great. For somebody that doesn't like the Star Wars movies and shit, man, Mandalorian is by far fucking way better than any of the movies.
John Favreau was a fan, you see. He was a fan, and he's same go as Ethel, Generation Xer. He grew up with those movies. He knew what worked. He knew what didn't work. He's not the likes of fucking that gobshite who made Lost. Oh, it's a mystery box. The answer isn't important. The mystery is No, the answer is important. J.J. Abrams. Like things like that.
I mean, like when you play especially like if you played like the games and stuff like the Old Republic, the Knights of the Old Republic, you've got like you get Mando who's like a unmasked Mandalorian, like
Yeah.
with no suit of armor and stuff. So like it gives you like an insight into the Mandalorians and stuff like that, and there's like it gives you a lot of back history into them. And then when they did the Mandalorian series and that, like a lot of that stuff's taken into consideration. Like you can tell that that's clearly like they're
Yeah,
Mandalorians.
they cherry picked the best elements from what was established in the universe.
Yep, wholeheartedly, man. It was really well done. Really well done. And let's just be honest, Baby Yoda has had the best memes by far.
I'm okay, right. I'm gonna say something controversial. I'm gonna say, right, okay, if you're an old grey white man, don't do Star Wars. If you're a young hipster fella who's like likes his fucking avocado toast, don't do Star Wars. If you're a Gen Xer who like drives a regular car, does a regular job, do Star Wars. Our lads, don't do Star Wars. Hipsters who like avocado toast and use recycled paper, toilet paper, don't do fucking Star Wars. Leave it to someone who grew up fucking watching the fucking show. Sorry. I feel strongly about this.
Or let's
point.
Yeah, man. I agree. I agree. I gotta see The Mandalorian. I haven't yet, but I heard it's really good.
Why do you watch
you don't know what you do not know what you're missing, man. Like I will genuinely say, like fucking as Star Wars go, like Mandalorian's probably the best live action we're going to get.
Yeah, I haven't gotten around to it, but I will. I have nothing against The Mandalorian. It looks badass.
I like the fact that they kept away from the Jedi. Like, like they kept away from it all. Like, it's like, no, Star Wars has got other shit, guys. We don't need this bullshit. And they're like, fucking bounty hunters. Yes. Give us more.
That's what I like a little bit about the prequels as well, as we get to see other places like the Gungan world, and we get to see other types of aliens. And, you know, they have mythology. Like, when they're talking about Darth Plagueis, it's like a mythology.
One thing I'll give Trenchy about the prequels had the way cooler vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but they were newer. That was the point, I think, because the first ones that came out were kind of the used future.
And they're all made out of kit. I was gonna say, and the older ones are all made out of kit bashed battleship models and garbage. Yeah. So I mean.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not disputing that. I'm not disputing that at all. But like, I'm just saying, like the vehicles and the original were just cool. Like, I mean, like the pod racers and the fucking the Gungan submarine scene that's a pretty badass scene.
When fucking so dope though.
Quick question for Wendigo and Dan. Which is your favorite out of the trilogies? The original trilogy, the prequel trilogy, or the new sequel trilogy? And which is your favorite Star Wars movie? Go on, Ethel, sorry.
I was just gonna say, and I kind of like that old aesthetic of the ships and the sets and the little models. It's like, hey, have you got a Goodwill locally? And do you have a can of Grey Krylon? Oh, well, then you've got some Star Wars. Just glue it together, man, and give it grits.
It is dope.
I like as well, like there's elements like there's parts reminiscent of a B-52 bomber built into the Falcon with the window kind of gun emplacements and stuff. I like that. There's definitely a lot of World War II kind of influenced kind of vehicles and dogfights and stuff.
Yeah, I did like it. I do like the old stuff, like man. I'm just saying, I'm still going to put a pod racer before every time, man. I want pod racer racing. I want to see this. I want to see a race where the chances of people blowing up are like every race.
Ethel, were you going to bring up the fact before previs, Lucas sliced in dogfights from 1950s movies? I thought you were going to bring it up there.
I was going to mention that, and I was also want to mention, in addition, just a quick note about the visual effects as far as the small model ships. They were doing a lot of newer techniques, you know, such as moving the camera around the model instead of moving the model in front of the camera. And they had these really super bright lights on these model ships, and they weren't exactly aware of how much heat these lamps put off and how far you need to from your model, and they end up melting a lot of pieces of little ships.
Oh no!
I mean, see that scene when you've got was it Darth Vader's in his little TIE fighter, just being along his man. He looks so fucking ridiculous. That big, massive dude in that tiny little ship is just like he looks so squashed up. It's like he's driving.
It'd be like fucking Andre the Giant climbing into a Porsche.
Dude, it'd be me fitting into a fucking Fiat 500. Man, but like see when you watch the movie and you see that scene, man, you're like, damn, like you can't help but get drawn into it. Like it sucks you right in.
Mm-hmm.
That trench run is brilliant. That's actually other favorite scenes, favorite moments or scenes from any of the franchise. I'm probably going to go with the attack on Hoth. That battle was good as well.
I mean, I liked the one with Jar Jar Binks is when it's a big battle and he's just running about with a big fucking grenade, stripping up and yeeting them everywhere. It's like, shite. And single-handedly thinks he's won the war because the satellite's been knocked out and he's just standing there and like, see, don't you? It's just such a pointless scene. It doesn't add anything to the movie at all. It's just like, like, okay, you've tried to prove that you've made him a fucking clown the whole movie, the whole battle, and now you're trying to make him look like a badass.
Well, I love Jar Jar Binks because he reminds me of myself. He's just a clumsy bastard with the worst luck. Like if I'm gonna win any battle, it's gonna be by tripping over things and making on accident. Like that's
but Trenchy, I could say for a lot of people, and I say the guys will agree with me, you're a lot more lovable and likable than Jar Jar Binks.
I mean, well, I don't know. I'm in Team Trenchy here, man. I like Jar Jar Binks.
I do
really?
Like
Sponge.
I do, man. I do like Jar. Dude, like you must know that I love stuff.
Oh, I thought you were saying you prefer Jar Jar to Trenchy.
Oh.
I mean, that's cool too. I'll take that for sure. Like that's.
I mean,
cool
can Trenchy lick his eyeball with his tongue?
Oh no!
Strangely, he can, and you guys on Trenchy's OnlyFans page too. If you click on that in the description down below, it's quite anything. His eyeball.
Ocular licking. It's a specialty. It's his specialty.
Gotta come with the money. So
the name of the video is Weezer Going Home. So yeah. Weezer Going Home.
Weezer got OnlyFans. Weezer got OnlyFans.
Weezer going in the hole.
Tune in later for tune into Trenchy's Twitch channel for his pool stream. It's great.
He's got a pool. He's got a pool floaty shaped like a bongo, like the bongo, the bongo submarine.
I do want to make clear that I love the original trilogy. I do prefer the original trilogy over the prequels. I got to see them both as a kid, so I got the best of both worlds, kind of. But
one thing I do like about Star Wars is there's like when they're alien races, like they tend to keep the traits similar in between, like when a race has got like specific racial traits that they do, and like even like social cues and the way they act, and that's all kind of similar. I do dig that stuff. Revenge of the Sith for me.
Yeah, Wendigo says his favorite one was Revenge of the Sith. Guys, I'm going to do one more roundtable thing. For me, it is definitely Dark Forces to our Jedi Outcast. Sponge, guessing Knights of the Old Republic is your favorite Star Wars video game?
Yeah. 100%.
Trench, any Star Wars video game you played that you enjoyed?
I like the one where you're like Darth Vader's apprentice, and it's like you got to choose if you're gonna be good or evil, like a
Force
Force
Jedi.
Unleashed.
Dude,
Force
not gonna
Unleashed.
lie, that's a close, probably second. Like the Fallen Order's pretty cool, and I like the way they did it. But man, it doesn't hold up to being Darth Vader's apprentice and just picking up stormtroopers, smashing them together. Like, dude, that is by far the most fun I've ever had in a game.
Dude, Sponge, if you level up high enough in the second game, you can pluck Star Destroyers out of fucking orbit and pull them down. Ethel, what would be your favorite Star Wars game?
Battlefield 1 and 2. I'm gonna pick them both. I like the campaigns. You know, where you gotta capture the checkpoints and you gotta hold your positions. I like the aerial battles you have in space, like the space battles. It's awesome, and you get the you can unlock friggin' characters from the film. In gameplay to play as free. So I mean, it's great. Great game.
Oh, Junebug, I'm with you on that. Shadows of the Empire, brilliant fucking game. And yeah, in case you kids were wondering, Ethel was talking about the good Battlefront games that came out when you didn't have to fucking pay for fucking play DLC, so you could fucking have Darth Vader pink with a fucking purple lightsaber.
Yeah,
Why is pink? Why is this an option?
In the new games, you can make him pink. You can change Darth Vader pink.
Well, that's kind of neat, but no. Like pink Cadillac Vader aside, like the ones for the original Xbox are tops. You know,
the best. But I'm going to wrap it up here now, guys. Before I go, I'm going to give the floor over. Ethel, what's on the horizon for 13 Originals? What's next? What do we go to look out for? Any videos coming up? Any streams? Any watch-alongs?
Absolutely. Coming up real soon is the Trash Picture Theater episode Yangari. It's rendering right now as we're talking. Should be up at some point this week, I hope. Fingers crossed. And as long as the copyright gods don't strike me down, it should be all right. Also, this Sunday we're having a Sci-Fi Sunday yet again. All month long we got Sci-Fi Sunday, and we are doing the Dynamic Robot stream. We're going to be talking about all sorts of robots from science fiction. You know, you got your Terminators. You got your friggin' chopping mall robots. You got Johnny Five, all the way up to Data from Star Trek. You know, you got all your robots. Any robot.
What can you
Robot John, baby. Robot John.
Robot John, man. Robot John.
I'm definitely going to be slapping Mark 13 in there. What about yourself, Trenchy? Any videos, reviews, anything coming up?
Well, I did do the top 10 for 10 horror subgenre tag. I filmed it 2 days ago. I still haven't put it out though because I'm lazy. But yeah, that's about it.
And Sponge, what about you, sir? You've some competition coming up. Maybe you want to plug it for people so they can check
I'm doing a G1 style supercard. I've got two groups, 8 streamers and 8 viewers. Going to go in a league. Everybody's going to face each other, and then they're going to top 4 for each group. We're going to face each other, and winner gets a Steam voucher and a T-shirt. My new T-shirt I designed for my stretch merch.
And the
that's going to be on
Thursday, debt, right?
I mean, you lose, you get fuck on, mate.
Like but you die of an embarrassment. That's what you get.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you're going to get ridiculed, and somebody's going to take the piss out of you eventually. So yeah, but no, it's going to be a good band. It's on Thursday. Thursday, I tell you the time. 2 seconds. Schedule. It is going to be 11 p.m. my time, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, or 4 p.m. if you're on that creepy mountain time.
And that's Thursday, right? Thursday, this Thursday.
Yep.
Yes. So tune in for that. Yeah,
and it'll be up on my YouTube as well.
Plonk it in there, man. Plonk in a link into the fucking chat or whatever, dude, if you want. But yeah, tonight I was joined by the always awesome Fun Sponge, the elegant and fantastic Ethel Cross, and the lovable and delightful Solus Trenchcoat. And yeah, it has been a pretty good May the 4th. I hope you had a great Star Wars day. I hope you watched Star Wars, or you broke out your Kenner figures and break the legs off them. And yeah, I hope you had a good Star Wars day. So have a good one, guys. Take care.
May the Force be with you.
Stay
May the Force be with you.